I want to talk about two ex-governors that have publicly challenged you. One is Dave Umahi, Minister of Works, challenged you to a debate after you criticized the state of Nigerian roads. Are you going to accept the challenge for the debate?
Well, number one is that what I did is that I started the debate already by standing on that road and saying this road is bad.
Right.
So the only reply would have been, the road is good. But I thank him. He's now repairing the road.
Right.
So the debate is closed.
The political atmosphere is heating up. David Umahi have just made a statement that he probably now regrets it. In this video, I'm going to break down what was actually said and why P2P reaction is shaking the internet. David Umahi said that P2P has not done anything in Anambra State when he was a governor. That P2P is just a AI politician. That is what David Umahi said, that P2P have not commissioned any road, P2P have not commissioned any healthcare center, P2P have not done anything, that P2P is just doing eye services, that Tinubu is better than P2P. Let me give you evidence of what David Umahi said, because he said so many things that is shocking Nigeria. So many things that may make P2P not to be on the ballot board and that will make P2P not to win election. Let's go straight to the video.
One of the things I hate so much is deceit. Deceit. I was a deputy governor when my brother P2P, His Excellency, was governor of Anambra State. And he was also the chairman of Southeast, Governors Forum. And I know his position on IPOP. I know the quarrel between him and then Nnamdi Kanu. I know, his feelings and all that he did, which is what he's supposed to do. But he should be man enough to own it and not to come and tell Nigerians, oh, this man did not say anything, he's just talking, which is harmless, I was governor of Ebonyi State. I was the chairman of Southeast Governors Forum. In as much as the governors of Southeast are doing everything possible and we are backing them to secure a very peaceful Southeast and see how we can politically help our brother Nnamdi Kanu. But nobody should joke with the thousands of Southeast people that were killed, in this respect. He's not been honest to our people. They sit at home on Monday. He has not said anything about it. Just wants to be president by all means, and that is not good for our people. Let us know the truth. Let us know the truth. And this project that somebody say is going to stop, and I hope he didn't say so. I read it on social media. This is very innovative. And I've challenged the Obedient movement to tell me, put President Bola Tinubu when he was governor of Lagos State, and they put our brother, His Excellency P2P, when he was governor of Anambra State. Let us see the master plan he made. Let us see him beyond his tenure as governor. But you are seeing President Bola Tinubu beyond his tenure as governor. That
everything when this man don't talk, it is so funny. I consider him say as fire back. David Umahi, they try by all means to get political appointment. Now, waiting me, I see so that David Umahi won't get appointment in 2027. That is why he's now saying that P2P does not care about the lives of people that were killed during when they were fighting for Biafra. That P2P was part of those people that were agitating for Biafra. So if P2P is given chance to become Nigerian presidency, definitely mean Nnamdi Kanu will come out and Biafra is going to succeed in Nigeria. That P2P was part of those who sponsor Biafra. He is a key leader of Biafra. That is what David Umahi is trying to say, that all what he's just doing is just eye services. That behind the bars, he knows who P2P is. He even said that not that he's saying anything about Tinubu is preferable than P2P. That is what David Umahi is saying. That if there is anyone Nigeria should give ticket to be on the ballot board to win the presidential election, it should be Tinubu. That P2P is a bad man. P2P, if they give P2P chance, he will steal money. That P2P collected government money. He did not do anything. He did not do any infrastructure. He did not commission anything. But the school that he said he has done, he didn't do anything. Right? P2B report.
So when somebody comes and says, oh, you didn't build a secondary school. Why do I have to build a secondary school when there's secondary school all over the place that we are in bad shape and they're protected, and I go and build a new one? That is the problem of Africa. That is the problem because there's corruption. Because people want to start their own. If you want, there's so many existing ones. Anambra is not a place where you go and say, oh, there's no secondary school. There are secondary schools all over the place. But they were in bad shape. Their structures, everything have collapsed. Things were not working. There's nothing. So I needed to rebuild them. And I rebuilt them. And if you go there, you see buildings that were all built. If you collect them together, I would have killed about hundreds of secondary schools. But I didn't need to. A university, I built a university college campus in a place called Ibaria from the scratch, cutting the forest. I built a teaching hospital from the fastest teaching hospital ever built in Nigeria was built under my tenure in 2 years from the scratch. It's today in Oka. You can go there. These are things you can see. They're physical. They're not promised and everything. When I started, we didn't have a state library. I built one. It's there in Oka. You can go and see it.
Great. Mr. Obi, critics have accused you of not building schools during your tenure as governor of Anambra State. Can you elaborate on the initiatives that you implemented to improve the educational systems in Anambra during your tenure? And why do you think there's this misconception that's obviously being floated around?
I actually built a lot of, they said building schools. I don't know whether building schools or building infrastructures in school. I don't know what they actually want. If you look at what I've done, I've actually built a lot of schools. But I don't need to answer that. If they read my manifesto, before I became governor, Anambra State was very low in education. In fact, schools were closed for 2 years. People did not go to school. We were low in rating. And while I was there, when I came, if you read my manifesto, what I told you now was areas where I said I'm going to deal with. And we moved from 20-something in number to number 1. Go and get, even today, go and get even cutoff point. Anambra is the highest. But number 1 to today. You know, maybe
what were the specific what reforms that you implemented to achieve that you think that can?
I don't know. I wish any of you are from Anambra State. I wish you are. So you call your town and I'll tell you what I did in your town in education. All the schools, we have about 500 secondary schools. Let me start with secondary schools.
Okay.
All the 500 secondary schools had what I can call, we computerized. We had buses. We had support in terms of teachers. We had generators to make sure they have light. Those we needed boreholes, we give them boreholes. There's nothing, I don't know how I will start to tell you. I visited all of them at least twice, physically. Look at the infrastructures. Look at what is happening with them. Ensure that they have things that is required for learning. And that's, I can go on and on. No school, as at the time, maybe it's happening now, no state, I can say categorically in Nigeria, where you were able to equip the schools the way we did. No state. No state will you say the schools had brand new buses too. No school had, will you say all the secondary schools had generator. No place, when we bought our computers, desktop, everything from HP, which is still there, as at the time, they said no government in Africa have bought this quantity from them. In fact, the vice president for Africa and Middle East came the day we launched it they will give it away to schools. So there's a lot of improvement. We put internet in all the secondary schools. So it can go on and on. At university, I built a university college campus in a place called Umahi from the scratch, cutting the forest. I built a teaching hospital from the fastest teaching hospital ever built in Nigeria was built under my tenure in 2 years from the scratch. It's today in Oka. You can go there. These are things you can see. They're physical. They're not promised and everything. When I started, we didn't have a state library. I built one. It's there in Oka. You can go and see it. And I can go on and on in areas where in health was the same thing. We didn't have one single school of nursing, midwifery, or school of health technology that was accredited. Today, we have over a dozen. They were all supported, accredited while I'm there. So you can go and, these are things that are, I'm telling you the things that are verifiable. You can go and see it. So when somebody comes and says, oh, you didn't build a secondary school. Why do I have to build a secondary school when there's secondary school all over the place that we are in bad shape and depleted, and I go and build a new one? That is the problem of Africa. That is the problem because there's corruption. Because people want to start their own. If you want, there's so many existing ones. Anambra is not a place where you go and say, oh, there's no secondary school. There are secondary schools all over the place. But they were in bad shape. Their structures, everything have collapsed. Things were not working. It's nothing. So I needed to rebuild them. And I rebuilt them. And if you go there, you see buildings that were all built. If you collect them together, I would have killed about hundreds of secondary schools. But I didn't need to. It's a state I know every community. I visited every community. I didn't say I visited every. I visited every single community in Anambra State as governor at least twice while I was there. So I know what every community needed, and I provided it. They have secondary schools, visited the secondary school, saw it, saw what they were there, and tried to do something. So I don't need to build a new one. Fantastic. Even at that, there's some new ones that were set up while I was there, and I supported it, and I can show, and I can say, we did this in education. And to prove it, we became number one. If you go to the secondary schools today, they'll still tell you, Mr. Obi did this, Mr. Obi did this. And since I left over 10 years ago, it is still the same generator that I gave them that they have. It's still the same vehicle that I gave them. It's still the same. So,
ask you a question. Do you think P2P went too far, or this was a perfect response